Okay, guys, so I am so excited. We are back filming. So we're going to be doing some makeup looks on YouTube now. What we're going to do is makeup, but we're also going to have like some girl talk, some God talk, some goal settings, just like keep each other accountable on this page, I guess is what I would say. The last time when I was filming, I feel like that's going to be a whole nother video because I was doing too much. Today we are going to be filming a makeup look for Valentine's Day. I think the next few looks I'm probably going to do for Valentine's Day because it's getting close and we are jumping back into this makeup like right before that. So I think I'm going to do like some burgundy and some silver, something different. It sounds a little scary, but it's going to be pretty. Just trust the process. Let's get into this tutorial and let's catch up a little bit. I always start out with brows first. I've already done a little bit of my skin prep, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into brows. And my brow routine is still pretty much the same. I have not changed anything. What I'm going to do is I like to do my brows a little natural now. So I just do like hair strokes in the front. It's pretty simple now, and then it just looks like this. So I take the brush side of it and then I just kind of lightly brush and soften that up just a little bit. That's pretty much it, and do the same thing for the other side. All right, so that's it for the brows. Quick and easy. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how my life has changed spiritually, mentally, and physically. Um, I feel like 2023 was really hard for me emotionally. I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot um, with my business. I feel like everything around me was going through its own season. So, work, home, relationships, I was just going through it in all of those. I had started another business, and that was it was very hard. It was very challenging. I felt like I had no escape. Like, you know how sometimes you might feel like your escape could be work, or your escape could be home, family, friends, going out, whatever. All of my places that I felt like was my escape was not available anymore. And it wasn't because I couldn't do those things, it just wasn't fulfilling me anymore. The things that I would run to or the things that I would do to try to fill that void of what I was going through was not working anymore. So I felt like I had no place to go. And if you've ever been there, it seems like no matter where you go, it's just not enough. No matter what you do, it's just not enough. So at that time, when I started feeling like all of these things just was not enough and I was going this way, going that way, really just out here blind is what I would say. I got into like a dark place mentally, not like suicidal, but very much depressed and stressed out to the point where I could not sleep. I could not get a good night's rest. Like, no matter what I did, I could not get a good night's sleep. No matter what I drank, I could not get a good night's rest. So I started feeling like, what do I do? What is happening to me? Why isn't the things that I desire and like at that time fulfilling me anymore? I've been doing this for so long. Why is it not working? So we're going to go in now with primer for the eyeshadow, which I'm using the P. Louise, and this is Rumor 05 is the number. I started feeling like none of the things that I was doing was working. So it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I got to set some boundaries with myself. Like, I have to start saying no to the things that's not fulfilling me anymore because I got to make some changes. And this whole time, that I'm setting these boundaries with myself, I feel like the Lord was like pulling on me, like telling me I needed to do these things because it came out of nowhere. So I started feeling like, okay, if I do this, I'm not going to stay long. If I go here, I'm not going to stay long. Or if I started setting boundaries in small ways. Like I didn't just cut the cord with myself because I knew I could not do that. So I started like saying, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do this time, or I'll just go next time, or if I did go, I would stay just a little bit." But I promise you, the call that was on my life to like let things go, soon as I got to these places, even though I was setting boundaries, I instantly would not want to be there. I instantly would get there and just be like, why did I come? Why did I do this? This is not where I want to be. Like, why am I here? We're going to use our Tarte palette. I actually got this palette for the holidays, so it is, I think it's seasonal. But look at this. It's so pretty. So I think I'm going to use like a little bit of the burgundy with some browns, and then I'm going to do like a silver on the lid. That's what I'm aiming for. I would get to these places and I would realize that, why did I come here? I don't want to be here. So then I would leave. I would stay a little bit and then I would leave and go home. And then when I got home, I would be so content with just being at home that I knew, okay, I don't have to be there no more. I think my time is up. I think it's time for me to make some changes. So then I got to a point where I knew God was calling me and I had to surrender. So when I surrendered, I remember it being so hard because I was so broken that I felt like the only thing left to do was surrender. And once I surrender, I don't know what's going to happen next, which was scary to me. I've never made a decision and felt that scared in my life. Like, even when I had a child, I didn't feel that scared. I just felt like it was the unknown on the other side of that decision. Like, I know some people, when you cross over to make the decision to walk with God, some people automatically think that it is, oh, he's going to take everything away from me that I like, and I'm not ready for that. True. That is true. You're not wrong. However, God doesn't just rip the band aid off, He also gives you free will. So I feel like at that time, God was telling me, okay, it's time for you to get back closer to me. It's time for you to pursue this lifestyle instead of that one. So I feel like me even knowing that it was time to let go, God still gave me the opportunity to decide. But He also was changing my desires. It was just like, no. That's when my no's came in. That's when I started to say, no, I don't want to do this no more. Because then I felt like at some point we're all people pleasers. And I did not realize how much I was people pleasing until I started saying no. And when I started saying no, it got to a point where I would be like, you know what? I don't really know if I want to go. I'm just going to say no to see how, I'm just going to say no because I know I really don't want to go. I know by the time I get there, I'm not going to want to go. But me physically saying no was really hard for a person who people please. Like, if you're a people pleaser, saying no sometimes is really hard. So when I started saying no, I started seeing things around me change. Especially for me, I started feeling like a sense of peace. Like it was like a relief, like the weight was lifted off of standing up for yourself and saying no. I started changing my perspective at that point because I remember when I surrendered. I said, Lord, if I'm going to do this, I just want peace. I just want peace. I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of this. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. All right, we're going to put a little bit of that burgundy shade on the lid, just lightly. I can remember just saying, Lord, I just want complete peace in this. Whatever I'm walking into, I'm going to be serious about it. I'm going to take it serious because I feel like in the past I've tried to get closer to God and I just did not take it serious. So this time around, I was like, I'm going to take it serious. I want to get closer to you. I know this is not going to be easy and I'm scared. That's literally what I told the Lord. Like, I'm scared. I don't know what is about to happen. And I asked God for peace. He gave it to me. He really did. He granted me the peace that I asked for. And that sounds simple. And some things with God is simple. Some things like that is simple. He knows exactly what you need and when you need it. So I feel like He did give me that because He knew that in order for me to stay on the course of what was happening, I that looks almost blue. I don't know. I feel like God knew that that was one of the things He could give me right away. So He gave me peace. So I remember I started sleeping way better. That looks so blue. But we're gonna put a little bit of this silver on top of it. Once I got to a point where I was really doing this, like really pursuing this walk with God, I started going to church. The day that I walked into this church, I could remember just feeling, I felt like I didn't know if I was coming or going, to be honest, at that time. I didn't. I think before I went to this church, I hadn't been to church in probably 2 years. I was just one of those that was watching it from home, which is fine. I just was not present at a church. So, and I can remember when I got there, I just cried the whole service. You know, when you go to church, soon as you get there, the Lord is going to have a word for you, especially if you've been seeking Him or getting in this new relationship with Him or whatever it is. He is going to have a word for you. So, a lot of times, you know, when you get to church and you're like, that was directly preached to me, it probably was, because if God got a message for you and He get the opportunity to speak to you through someone, He will do that. So I felt like at that moment, that was for me. Everything that I needed to hear that Sunday, I will never forget. October 22nd, 2023 was the day that I went to church. I will never forget that when I went to that church that day, I remember what I had on. I had my hair was I think maybe I had straightened it like prior to that, and then I had on like a t-shirt and I had on some jeans, and I didn't have on makeup really. I just remember I was so broken. And anytime that you're being cleansed from the inside out, none of this on the outside even matters anymore. Not even to you. Like, you just want everything that you're going through to get better. So I wasn't worried about my outer appearance. I felt like I had so much going on. I was exhausted and I started looking that way. I had people literally telling me, "Are you okay? Like, you're okay? You look this, you look that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But really, I was not fine. I was really going through some things. So that message was directly for me. And I was like, you know what? Next Sunday, I'm coming back. I'm coming back here. Like, everything he said was for me. So I'm coming back. I can remember telling my friend that I'm coming back. Like, next Sunday, this is where I want to be. Like, this is the church that I feel like I should be at. All right, let's do some liner and then we'll come back to the conversation. I think I want my liner to be kind of dramatic. I can remember saying that I was going back next Sunday. Like, this is where I want to be. It spoke to me, it spoke to my soul. Like, it's the Lancome concealer. I feel like it dries very quickly. I left that church feeling very much fulfilled. Like, that Sunday, like, I felt like that was God showing me, like, you're on the right path. This is going to be where you need to be. Like, I want you here. That next week, that's where I was. Like, I made sure I got up early. I made sure that I was going to get there in time, because the first Sunday that we went, it was so crowded. Like, the line was like, it took me probably 30 minutes to get out of the line and park and get into the church. Like, that's how crowded it was. But I did not know, like, my first Sunday going, that was the first Sunday that they were opening up the doors to the church. Like, I did not know it was a new location. I did not know any of that. Which I remember the girl who invited me told me like they got a church now, but I wasn't thinking that this was their first Sunday opening doors. I guess I just didn't process that, but it was. So it was like their first Sunday of opening up the doors, but it was my first Sunday of God opening up some doors for me. I kept going because what happened when I got there, it just made me want to learn more about God. Mission accomplished. God's mission was accomplished. I feel like it was making me desire to go back for more. I wanted to know more about Christ. I love the praise and worship. I actually loved everything about it. And coming from churches that I did not feel what I felt at this church. Nothing to discredit other churches, but I just never felt what I felt when I walked into the doors of this church. And maybe it was because I never really fully surrendered. I don't know. But timing is everything. And at this time, that's where I went and that's what God did. So then I just kept going. And then I took my son and he loved it. And it just started feeling like home, like everything from the greeting to the parking. So, since my microphone died that I was using to record with y'all, I have to do a voiceover. So, we just gonna get into it. The makeup is just gonna be going, and I'll just be talking over, and then I'll jump in on some parts to tell you what I'm using or what I'm doing. But for the most part, I think you get it. This is the MAC blush in the color Sketch. This color, y'all, is so beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful plum, like violet color. And then I'm gonna layer it with the burnt pepper from MAC. This is actually one of my favorites. I've been using it for so long, but it is so pretty together. So let's continue with the story. So down from like what I was saying with the greeting, the parking, them just welcoming you into this church made me feel so good as I was growing. And as I was growing, I was meeting people along the way. So, whatever stage you are in when you are choosing to be in covenant with God, He is going to send you your people. I was meeting women just in the audience that I was sitting with. And there was one lady in particular that I met. Me and her just kept running into each other. She's a little older than me, but I think spiritually, she was more mature than me, so I was able to learn from her and grow from her with her as well. And we just became friends, and we still are to this day. So I'm grateful for her. Meeting her, she was one of the first ladies that I met attending Rock City. So it was a pretty good experience to go to this church and to start meeting people, because I did feel like I don't know anybody here. I don't even still know what I'm doing, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to be here. And God was like, I got you. I'll send the people that you need. So that's exactly what He was doing. And then as time went on, I started meeting more people. So I feel like when you are on that journey with God, you're going to have times that you feel lonely. You're going to have times that you feel like nobody's there. You're going to have times where the only person you can seek is Him, and that's what He wants. And then He'll send exactly what you need. So here we are applying some lashes, y'all. These lashes I feel like were very dramatic, but it works out for what I'm going for. It worked. And then we're just going to apply some blush. And like I said, we're going to layer it. So I did do a little bit of contouring. And then I'm putting this deeper violet color like right over what I did with the contouring. And then I'm going to add the other blush on top of that, just so it'll be like a really pretty like blended look. So yeah, I'll say all this to say there's so much more to talk about this spiritual journey that I've been on. But for now, I feel like if you are in this place where I was when I first started, don't give up. Like, keep going. And it is going to be hard, but God will send you the people that you need. He will give you the things that He know that you need right away. He's not going to just let you surrender all to Him and He just leave you hanging. So it can get tough. It can get lonely. It will be hard. It's not going to be easy, but the changes that I've made in my life in just a year, makes me excited to see what God is going to do next, because I'm a totally different person now. There's so many things that I just don't desire to do anymore. And I'm actually proud of that. I didn't think that I would even be where I am today if I wouldn't have said yes to God's call. I would not be where I am today. So don't be afraid of the call. Surrender, trust the process, and pray. And just lean not to your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will sustain you. He will make sure that He fills you up with what you need. The fruits of the Spirit will change. This color by MAC, by the way, this lip gloss, everything. I'll have to put in the description on what it is exactly, because I don't remember, so I have to go take a look. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we will have more of these to come. Remember what I said. Get in your Bible. Bye.